Hello. Okay, so remember that we've been talking about fractions, and so today's lesson we're going to use fraction tiles. And the purpose of today's lesson is we're going to identify fractions as equivalent. And remember, the word equivalent means equal. So we're going to see if they are the same size or not and how to identify that. Okay, so first let's take out the 1/2 fraction bar, which is right there. Okay, and we're going to see what other fractions are the same size as 1/2. So I'm going to use this one here, and this is 1/4. And I see that one, it's not necessarily the same size. What about 2? Yes, so we know that, so this is 1/2, and 2 1/4 are the same size. So I'm going to write down that 1/2 equals 2 4. Okay, because we have 2, right? Mm-hmm. So then let's look at a different example. What if I have 1/6? So I'm going to get rid of these. How many of these will I need? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we have 3 1/6. So let's write that down. 1/2 equals 3 6. Okay, so now let's have you try. So let's use 1/8. Okay, and let's see how many of those we will need. 3. Not quite. If you see, they're not next to each other, so let's put them next to each other, because 3/8, that still looks a little smaller to me. What about one more? Yes. So how many is that? 4. Yes. So let's write that down. So 1/2 equals 4. Okay, nice. Good job. So now we're going to continue practicing with tenths. Okay, so how many of those will we need?
I have to make sure there are no space.
Yes, no space. Okay. Yes, good job. So how many is that?
5.
All right, so 1/2 equals 5/10. Nice, good job. Now let's try with the 12. 1/12.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes, good job. So 1/2 equals 6/12. Perfect. All right, so now we're going to practice with a worksheet. Okay, so now we are on activity 2. Okay, so today's purpose for this activity is we're going to identify equivalent fractions. And remember, equivalent equals the same, which is equal fractions based on the circle. So we're going to count how many colored parts and how many parts in total. Okay, so let's see. Here I have some cards, and let's do this one first. Here we have, let's count how many parts in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now let's count how many colored. 1, 2, 3. So that means this circle tells us the fraction 3/6. Okay, so now let's see this one. This one, let's count how many parts.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Now let's count how many colored parts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So that means this circle is telling us the fraction 4/8. Okay, so if I have these right next to each other, these two are actually equal because 3/6 and 4/8 shows half of the circle. Okay, so the colored part is half of the circle. So these two are equivalent fractions. Okay, so now I want you to pick a card from this pile.
Okay.
And go ahead and tell me what would be the fraction based on the total parts and then the colored parts.
5/12?
Let's see. Let's count how many colored parts there are. 1, 2, 3, 4. So actually I only see 4. So remember, we have to count carefully. So this is 4/12, okay?
Okay.
So then, based on the colored part, what do you think another fraction that kind of looks the same as this one, as far as the colored parts?
This one.
Yeah. So this fraction, can you tell me what the fraction that would be for this circle?
1/3.
Good job. So these two are equivalent fractions, okay? Because this tells us that the colored parts basically looks the same, okay? So 4/12 is equivalent to 1/3. Okay, good job. Okay, so now we are on activity 3, and this activity is called matching equivalent fractions. And the purpose of this activity is that we are going to identify equivalent fractions, which again, equivalent means equal, without the help of the circles, that visual. We're gonna now just look at fractions itself. All right, so I have some cards here. I'm gonna pick this one, 1/2, and this one, 2/4. So with these two, I'm going to show you why these are equivalent by multiplication, by multiplying. So we're going to do some multiplication today. Before we do that, we actually have a rule, and the rule is called equivalent fraction rule. Okay, so please follow along. Look at my whiteboard as I read. So the rule is to find an equivalent fraction, you multiply the numerator, which is the top, and denominator, which is the bottom, by the same number. The new fraction is equivalent to the original fraction. Okay, so we have to remember that rule. So what I'm going to do here is with 1/2, I know 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4 because when I multiply the numerator, 1 by 2, and I multiply the denominator, the 2, by 2, what will that equal? Well, 1 times 2 equals 2, and 2 times 2 equals 4. Okay, so that means that's why 1/2 is equivalent to 2/4. Okay, so now let's try this again with 2 different cards. Let's try 1/3 and 2/6. So 1/3. If I multiply 3 times, well, I know 3 times 2 is 6. And if we go back to the rule, we need to multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number. So if I'm going to multiply the denominator by 2, I need to multiply the numerator by 2 as well. And that equals 2/6. And yep, that's right. Okay, so now I want you to pick a card. And the card that you pick, what would be the equivalent fraction for that one?
Okay, I pick 2/10, and well, I know 2 times 5 equals 10, so the equivalent fraction is 2/5.
Okay, but remember, if we refer back to the rule, if you multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, the new fraction is equivalent to the original fraction.
Oh, okay, so then 1/5, because 5 times 2 equals 10 and 1 times 2 equals 2.
Yes, good job. Okay, so that these two are equivalent. Nice. All right, so we will do some more practice with the worksheet.